Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of Go Bold or Go Home podcast and featuring our special guest, Mr. Dylan. Everyone wave to Dylan. He's riding high after getting a couple victories and he's never been in this situation before. So we decided to bring him on and just kind of see how he takes it. Dylan, how are you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing all right. All right, so Dylan, today's episode is going to have Dylan walk us through his panic rankings. So I'm going to just be providing commentary and probably disagreeing with 90% of it. There might be a few teams I agree with. I don't know. We'll see. And you'll all just agree with me, and we already know Dylan's going to have some bold takes. So Dylan, go ahead, share your screen. Let's see what you got for us.
All right. Well, first of all, yeah, there's some bold takes.
You know how to share a screen, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Patience is a virtue, my friend.
Slow. All right, go ahead.
So, let's see. I know how to PowerPoint. I got this. Hold on. Come on. There it is. All right. So I just kind of threw this graphic together. Panic rankings. So the way panic rankings work, it's not necessarily like power rankings. Power rankings are usually like someone's being dominant, they're winning each week, their roster is looking so good. I decided to take a different approach. I decided to do panic rankings. So, you're going to have some bottom teams higher up than you expect. You're going to have some higher teams lower than you expect. Some people should be more freaked out than others because there's some stuff going down. It's the NFL. Shit's happening every day.
Yeah, so we already know that there's a lot of teams panicking, looking at you, Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL. So let's see how this goes.
Oh, I really hope the Pittsburgh Steelers, for my sake, get it together. But all right, we will start with number 12, and we're counting down. So number 12 is the least panic. These are people everything's fine.
Who chilling, having a drink outside, cooking something on the grill, just relaxing.
And then number 1 are the people that are just like pulling their hair out, just absolutely screaming.
Probably me my first week 1 of the season when I saw Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones.
When you tied, yeah, whatever.
Hey, they posted eggs that week. I was not happy because keep in mind, I had to have Waller ball out.
You haven't lost a game this season. You're fine. And speaking of which, you're number 12.
Hey.
So least panicked. Surprise, surprise. It's Nolan. Basically a vacation in Hawaii, completely paid for. His tan is ridiculous. When will he actually have to work? Probably never. He's 3-0-1. He's the only true undefeated team of the season so far. And my analysis is somehow got a tie. That was the only surprise of the season so far. Most points in the league. Henry and Jones just dominating the league. But Jones is starting to look a bit shaky.
He is.
He'll be fine. You're good. It's Aaron Jones. Traded for DJ Moore before the breakout. Traded Wilson before Pete Carroll blamed him for a loss. Traded for an injured Jacobs with what became an injured Higgins. And now he's back. This team has an interesting depth issue when the Raiders are on a bye week. But none of those guys really start for this team. So what does it matter? Hoping my injury luck continues, but otherwise, my depth is fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be real. Jacobs might see the field 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be more matchup based. And then Derek Carr, I'm really just streaming quarterbacks. I do like Derek Carr, but not against all those teams.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? You're fine. You're undefeated, and you've beaten like heavy hitting squads already. I think you beat Aaron?
Yeah, the start of my entire season, it's actually I've played. My toughest part of the schedule was the start of the year. So,
and you're undefeated through that.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only shock was that you tied Clint on a like.
And then I'm entering my last tough matchup, which for a while, which is going to be Hayden. Stop it, step bro.
Which
So,
is why you've got an entirely expense paid vacation in Hawaii.
yep.
And your
All
team is
right.
ridiculous.
I do like the sound of that.
Number 11,
Oh,
James.
all right.
People might be surprised to see James here. And honestly, I didn't update this ranking after the trade that happened today. Before that trade, I was ranking James number 11. Or basically the witch staring at the rest of the league through the cauldron, plotting for the real battle next season, cackling to herself. He traded Montgomery for a second rounder and a fourth rounder to rebuild with next season before he got injured on my bench. Great. He was probably always going to be in a rebuild this season. He almost beat Steven and Hayden. It was stupid close. He might not finish last. There's still a long season to go, and teams are dropping to injuries like flies. So someone else could slip up.
I can see this in the understanding. Like, I think definitely, and I told James this. I was like, hey, you're taking a risk on that, but I see the value in that second round pick for Dobbins because I didn't even really care about David Montgomery, and that's just a personal thing. I think Montgomery's washed now. I think though, yeah, he's
Okay.
just chilling and waiting for the season to be over.
We'll talk more about that with my roster, but the
Oh,
Dobbins piece of this, I don't rate Dobbins as high as you and Colton do. Everybody's like, J.K. Dobbins is going to be amazing. J.K. Dobbins is going to be amazing. He was injured for multiple weeks in the first season, his rookie season.
Sir,
He's out for his entire sophomore season. I'd see nothing but an injured back that's going to be injured most of his career.
This is the first time where I have to teach you the beauty of words and what words have definitions. So definition of me saying they have a high ceiling is me not saying that they're going to be amazing. It means that if Dobbins stays healthy and plays, to his potential, he'll be great. But if Dobbins doesn't,
let me tell you why I don't think his ceiling is as high as everybody else does.
Okay, well, you're fine saying that, but you can't just say I'm just high on him and thinking he's going to be great.
No. Colton's very high on him.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a good chance he could produce a lot, but I also told you there's a very low floor in case he doesn't come back the same from injury. So just make sure, we opened up our dictionaries and read today. So
can you name any running backs with a top rushing quarterback in the league that usually finish top 5, top 10?
We could go back to Washington back on RG3 before he got hurt. We all remember that year.
Well, who was the running back?
Running back, what's his face? He came over here to Washington. I know it's only 1 year, and that's what I'm saying. Same with RG3. He disappeared off the earth. But they did have an NFL record that year for the first running back quarterback duo to have both 1,000 yards rushing.
So anyway, I see what you're saying, but I don't. Are you talking about Chris Thompson?
No, it's they were both rookies. I'll look it up. He came to the Cowboys to back up when we needed them 2 years ago. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, that was one. That was one. Kenyon Drake had Kyler Murray last year, finished outside of the top 10.
Okay, well, that's Drake is now a backup running back for a reason.
You had no running back for Lamar Jackson finish inside of the top 10.
Yeah.
For most rushing quarterbacks, that takes away rushing
attempts
for the running back.
Not for all. It depends how the coordinator uses them. So anyway, go ahead, go to number 10. Let's keep it moving. I'll look up that name for you.
Ooh, we are very divided on this one, man.
Yes, we are.
Number 10 is Aaron. He's 3-1-0. His panic ranking is 10th, or basically a dog sunbathing in the one window in the house, just hoping a cloud doesn't drift by. His team tied by a stupid stat correction. The odds of that happening. Remember when the league doubted Terry over Ridley? Where's Ridley been? Zeke is a weird guy to own sometimes, but he's still elite. Only lost to Nolan on a down squad week where this roster scored a low of 117 points. Also haven't had too many injury issues, but everything's fine so far. I only have 10-ish points less than Nolan. All is well.
Yep, I agree with that. I think Aaron's team is still super solid, should be undefeated, but stats, change apparently. So hey, you take it as it comes. We'll see how the rest of the season goes.
Yep. Not really anything too much
Oh,
to say
hey,
there.
Alfred Morris, take that.
Alfred Morris, not Chris Thompson. Yeah. What did he finish?
I don't know fantasy points. That was 2012, dude.
Oh, I'm
I
talking
can't go back
fantasy
and look
points,
that
dude.
up. I'm just talking that I know it's statistically in the NFL, he finished like with 1,000 yards rushing, and so did RG3, and that was the
I'm
big
talking
deal.
purely fantasy.
I know you are. Already, just get the 9. You're already butting in and making this all controversial now.
I mean, yeah, it's panic rankings. It's supposed to be controversial.
Well, speaking of controversial, before we talk about number 9, let's talk about today's sponsor that's unofficial sponsor. I don't know if y'all can see this well, but it is Fuzzy's Tacos. Why controversial? I will tell you. Because if you ask me, they are the second best when it comes to making tacos that are mainstream. I mean, we already know that the hole in the walls are the best. But number 1 is Torchy's, number 2 is Fuzzy's, and you ask for, I have an actual top 10 of that. Maybe we'll see it one day, maybe we won't, I don't know. But the reason I'm going to mention them as an unofficial sponsor is because being second is just as good as being last. And Fuzzy's, go get some water from them.
What an
All right, number
excellent
9.
word from our not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Number 9, Jake, panic ranking 9th, or basically the guy that won a ton of money at the casino, but spent it all today. Worth it. Analysis. Sometimes trades are just a matter of the heart. Broncos fan for life. Had to have Javonte Williams. Just had to. At all costs. Speaking of at all costs, waivers. At all costs. Rondale Moore for $31. Let's go. Ouch. Lost that on Patterson. Oof.
Yeah,
Chuba
you
Hubbard
lose
2.
out on me, man. You wish you had me on your roster.
Oh, because you're Patterson. I get it. Nice.
Yeah. No, Cordell's my brother, dude. Can't you
Oh,
see
yeah.
the family resemblance?
I can. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Chuba Hubbard 2 for $41. And man, is he absolutely flying and worth it. Wait, CMC's already potentially back? Otherwise, I've only lost to Aaron and Ben. Wait, how did I lose to Ben? His team hasn't scored that point total since. I'm only 30 points behind Nolan, though. I'm scoring monster point totals, so let this hot streak continue. Long may it last. Things are fine.
Fair enough. Definitely, I would have think he'd be a little more panicked. 2-2 is not a way you want to start the season. Did have a tough schedule, but I would say the rest of the season outlook starting to look a little shaky because he has almost no free agency budget left. And you also have Chuba Hubbard, and Chuba is not going to be getting much of the football anymore. And yeah, I mean, that's where I said on that. I also will say I'm not a huge Justin Fields. Everyone's been crazy about Fields. I'm like, we haven't seen anything yet. And I think his best game was him running, not passing. So they
What does
still
Justin Fields have to do with this?
got who throws the more?
Moore? Oh, Rondale Moore?
Yeah.
He plays for the Arizona Cardinals, my friend. Kyler Murray.
Oh, no, I'm thinking Mooney. Yeah, sorry. This is what happens when you don't sleep and been working on audits, everyone. So welcome to HR life. Okay, yeah. I mean, I still disagree with that too, because I mean, it's not like everyone's going to be scoring a ton of points on the Cardinals. So
Yeah, and he already traded Rondale Moore to Colton, I believe, in that.
I have
Javonte
not had a
Williams trade.
chance, which Ben and Colton, James, I know you guys have texted me and about trade stuff, and I have not responded today. I haven't really looked at my phone because this guy's been texting me all day about doing this. He's all excited. So,
It's fine.
First time.
I did
All right.
texting you all day. There's been like 3 texts.
That's all day to me. That's because I don't reply.
If you think I text you a lot, talk to Steven and Colton. I'm in constant communication with them.
I talk with Steven on game days. That's me and him talking all the time. But all right, let's see. So other than that, yeah, 30 points behind me, that's for sure. So I would just put him, I feel like he's more in the middle. Like he should be a little higher on the panic. But hey, your rankings, keep going.
All right, number 8, Colton. Panic ranking 8th. Or basically Joe and Chandler sitting in the recliners for that one entire episode of Friends and hearing the fire alarm going off. Chandler feels the floor. Oh, that's not warm yet. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of Friends.
I have. That's
Yep.
I appreciate the reference. Only
Sorry.
lost to Nolan.
You cut off.
Yeah, I appreciate the reference.
Analysis only lost to Nolan so far. Already got an extra early round pick for next season. Not very high in the 0.4 or against column, but he's been surviving some annoying injuries so far. Henderson and Barkley are limping along, but they score well when they play. Hawkinson is questionable, but solid when he plays. Ridley hasn't been what I wanted, and there's been a hit ordered on Cordarrelle Patterson, but it's fine. Oh, Ridley's out for personal reasons this week. My hit backfired.
Yeah, I would say that's the big thing. I think he should be less panicked. I think Colton's team is really solid. I played him, so I know. His team does put up points, and we're seeing Barkley get back to Barkley's point totals. So he'll be balling.
Maybe. I kind of went a little bit more off of the league full standings. So panic rankings kind of fit into some of this where we're talking about the entire point totals.
Oh, you go up. All right.
So the reason you're so high is you've got 485.5 points.
I'm averaging like 100 something points a week. Yeah.
That's a monster total. I mean, it's not a monster total because I've heard of like people with 680 already this season, which is insane. Colton is second behind you with like the 5th highest amount of points of the top 6. So he's got 389. And he also has been extremely lucky. He's only had 364.5 points scored against him this season. Same for Hayden, 382.5 points for, 311 points against. And then you look at these next 3 teams, all over 400 points and with a lot of points scored against them. I just don't think those rosters have been truly tested yet. So we will see.
All right, we will see. But I will say, Colton, you argue this because I agree with you. You should be less panicked, Colton, because one, like I said, I think your team's getting better each week. So, and Ridley will be back, so he'll be fine.
I don't know. Yeah. Again, I said it was going to be controversial because there's going to be like people with high rankings in the actual power rankings, probably.
Yeah, it's definitely controversial. So let's see what blasphemy is coming up at 7 here.
All right, next is Ben.
Ooh.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this one, but these are panic rankings again. These aren't power rankings. So it's not like, for the expectation of this roster, I don't think Ben's like, oh, I'm going to win the league for sure this season. He's 2-2, panic ranking, 7th, or basically the guy invited to the party, but doesn't know anyone there. He's just glad to be there. The analysis, with very few early round picks last season, he's been extremely competitive, considering the rebuild, but Mahomes is all he needs. Beat Jake, but lost to John. Not stoked about that one. Playing the waiver wire well and grabbing many guys far in advance for nothing. Hoping some of them start to pay off soon. Got Jeff Wilson Jr., who will probably be great for him later on in the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because he did beat Jake, and I like Jake's team, but yeah, and Cordarrelle Patterson's about to go off for him. I will say that, so that'll help him. I love CD. I really like Chase Edmonds and Patrick Mahomes. And he did play smart. He picked up Damian Williams, so that'll get him some points as well. So we'll see. I think you're being controversial just for controversial sake. Because I think Ben he's chilling. overall. I know he's kind of been banged up, had a few rough weeks on the schedule, but he'll bounce back with the win.
Oh, are you saying he's too low in my panic rankings or too
Like I
high?
think he should be less panicked. So he should be. I think I'd put him more 8, 9. I mean, not by a lot, but just like a few spots down. So
More
anyway,
panicked than Jake or more
less
panicked than
panicked,
Colton?
less panicked, less,
Okay. Less panicked than Jake and less
less panicked.
panicked than Colton.
Yes. All right. Anyway, keep it going. Let's see. What you got at 6? It's only
I've
gonna get
got,
worse. You're gonna make me sick.
I'm gonna make you sick. Oof.
Yeah.
All right, number
there you go.
6. Hayden, 3-1.
Oh my god. All right, let's hear it.
Panic ranking 6th, or basically the guy that just had an amazing, delicious burger, but something in the tummy don't feel right. Analysis: which players are going to show up each week? Dak, Cook, Hill, and Evans blow hot and cold every week, and I should basically flip a coin to see which one will hit and miss. Heads or tails? I have the least amount of points scored in the top of the table.
Tails
I'm
never
3-1.
fails. Cough, cough.
I have the least amount of points scored in the top of the table, but I'm 3-1, so I could care less. Also, my bench of Mooney and Schultz are going off. So now I'm rocking the Dak and Schultz stack. Bet no one saw that coming. No RB depth? No problem. One of these Ravens RBs will eventually save me, maybe. Everything is going to be just fine. Okay? Okay. Okay?
Okay, well, let's talk about your like. Oh my god, this is at 6. Really? I
I mean,
mean,
he's in the middle. Yeah.
you talk about in your analysis. I mean, Dak, Cook, Hill, Evans, and then you also have like you said, Antonio Brown's a guy on his bench. When Antonio's like fine, he will get points as well. That's a solid bench right there. Corey Davis, we saw he's starting to get more targets as Zach Wilson's starting to look better. Marvin Jones, he's put up his points as well. I mean, and Cole Beasley gets all the targets. I trust me, as a Diggs owner, I'm kind of mad at Cole Beasley, even though he's from our area and he's like, sauce boy, whatever. But
Cole Beasley is just getting the same amount of targets as he did last year, but Dawson Knox is really the one getting more targets, eating
but
even
that's the
into
thing.
Diggs' share.
Look, Cole Beasley shouldn't be getting those wide receiver targets. I'm fine with Knox getting his targets because he's good. Cole Beasley's just the third down guy, and I'm like, no, take a big shot. And Josh Allen's like, no, I'm going to dump it off to the slot receiver. And I'm like, no, take a big shot at Diggs. What are you doing? And yeah. But anyway, I think like that is, yeah, it's been hot and cold so far, but I feel like that's a lot of teams. When you have like top talent, is they're not going to go only like the top 10 to 15 players consistently go off every week. Outside of that, you're going to have people that just have monster weeks like on and off throughout the season. And
that's why I'm concerned about this team. It blows really hot one week and really cold the next.
Yeah, but
and
you have
again, he has
panicked.
the least amount of points scored.
That's not panicked, because let's keep in mind, that's how I lost the playoffs last year. Was Tony Pollard out of nowhere had a hot week and just murdered me. When you get hot, you can beat everyone. So he's fine. He's 3-1. Only lost to me, or no, he'll lose to me this week, but he'll be fine. Anyway, and you just picked him to win this week on the poll.
I did pick him to beat you. If
you're picking him to be 4-1, calm down. Stop lying to yourself. Go to 5.
I just think he's like one Dalvin Cook injury away from like really not like putting up monstrous point totals, unless Hill goes off for 40 each week. And Dak, Dak in fantasy, he'll get like 23 one week, and then he'll get like
he'll get like
15 the next.
Week. I mean, the dude, 4 touchdowns was not bad in passing, and then if he's running, like if he usually gets a rushing touchdown every once in a while. So those games are his best games fantasy wise. But again, all right, let's see 5. Probably going to be
5 is John.
All right.
5th Are basically in line at the bank. Not stoked, but not pissed off yet. Ambivalent, detached, not really caring. What is the waiver wire? Never used whatever that is in 2 league seasons. Don't need it. Trades? Nah, I'm good. Just let Russ cook and my Seahawks receiver stack will drop bombs. Oh, wait. Russ isn't really cooking yet. Pete Carroll wants to run the ball again? It's all right. It's all right. Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb are formidable. Chubb's losing market share? Mixon's hurt again in a game time decision? Rough. At least Hurts is going off for fantasy this season.
Wow. That's actually, yeah, I could kind of see that one overall. I'll give you that one. It's not as terrible as it could have been. Still not a huge fan of it, but could have been a lot worse.
All right. We're going to get to worse. Speaking of worse,
God.
We're going to go to number 4. Me.
Oh, yeah. He's riding high, everybody, but he really should be panicking. I agree with this one.
Oh, I'm not riding high on anything. I'm lucky right now. I haven't played anyone of like high point totals, but I've actually had a lot of points against. Hayden and Jake drop bombs on me. So anyway, panic ranking 4th, or basically at the hospital where people are injured everywhere and dealing with some heavy stuff, but I'm trying to spread some cheer with some pudding. Analysis. I'm out of fab. I maneuvered for RB depth like crazy in the draft and the waiver wire and trading. And can I catch a break? Mostert got hurt for almost the entire season after 2 plays. 2 plays?
That was so
my keeper Jacobs was injured after week 1. So I traded for Higgins, who got injured. I traded some high draft picks for Montgomery, and that was awesome until he got injured too. Out for 4 to 5 weeks. I dropped $61 of fab on Elijah Mitchell because he's going to be good. He's injured too. Claypool seemed like the last man standing in Pittsburgh, though. Oh, he's injured too. What the fuck? At least Patterson saved me, but I traded for Hunt for more guaranteed volume.
That's what you get for trading away my brother.
I'm surviving, and my team is somehow pumping out great point totals. But I'd like to catch a break, please. Mitchell, Higgins, and Claypool might be coming back. Hopefully. Please come back.
Yeah. This I do agree with. I can see it here or anywhere in the top 4 because injuries just don't like you, my dude. They just do not.
I have so many injuries, and somehow my team is still dropping like 129 point totals, which is nuts.
Well, that was when you had Cordell Patterson, who you traded away.
Oh, for a
He went off last week to get you the 129 points.
I traded Cordell Patterson, who's the number 4 running back, for Kareem Hunt, who's the number 5 running back on the season. So, I mean, we'll see. I have a very boom bust roster, so I was kind of looking for more solidity. Kareem Hunt has more guaranteed volume than Cordell Patterson, so I was just kind of hoping,
on your positive, you do have Najee Harris starting to actually like get points, and I know the first 2 weeks of the season were not good for your case in that, but we'll see. I think you just gotta hope those guys come back, because if they are still out, it's going to hurt, especially as you play the tougher competition and you have to go through the bye weeks coming up.
Yep.
Anyway.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Elijah Mitchell stays healthy coming back from after being 3 weeks out. We'll see. And then Higgins is coming back as well. And,
he'll get you. Yeah, he's solid. He gets a lot of red zone targets, so.
He's a solid 13 points.
Yep, pretty much. He consistently gets 10 to 15 points on my bench when I had him. But yeah,
all right, are you ready for number 3?
Yeah, number 3. This better be Steven.
It is.
Hey,
Steven is number 3 for panic ranking. He's 3rd, or basically the paranoid homeless guy rocking in the corner, rocking back and forth. But there's some pretty big valuables in his shopping cart, though. Everyone decided to conspire against me this year. AJ Brown got hurt. Taysom Hill decided to give Kamara a break every week. Cup is keeping this ship above water, but where was he last week? Spent $15 of fab on Myers, even though 3 other teams owned and dropped him before I got to him. DJ Moore decided to go off right after I traded him for Waddle, right when Tua got injured, with Joe Burrow really starting to cook. Oof. Really hoping Russ starts seriously cooking soon. He's just boiling the water right now, but just you wait. Actually, stoked Teddy B got injured because Fant and Locke must be besties.
Yeah, the DJ Moore thing. And Steven texted me about this too because he's like, "Oh, you were right." I'm like, "I know." I've been a fan of DJ Moore like from last year because I love him. I think he's amazing. And I wanted to draft him really high in the draft. I think I told you this too, is he was, I think, my number 2 or number 3 receiver on the board.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he's gonna kill. And I luckily got him right before he exploded. And I also got lucky because Tua got hurt, so I'm not going to miss Waddle. So yeah, that worked out for me. And I get Judy back, so that'll be nice to replace Waddle. But yeah, I think Steven's thing is, and I've told him this, it's Cup or bust. Like, if Cup doesn't get points, his team is just done.
Yeah, it's rough. And honestly, back on DJ Moore, I was the owner of him last season and I hated it. He would go off for like 18 points one week and then the next week get like 2.
Yep.
He had Teddy Bridgewater back then, so maybe some inconsistent quarterback play, but
I
also
was about to defend. I really think it was more that he now has now I'm not saying Sam Darnold is a top 10 quarterback or anything. I think he's more mid-range. Like, he's a starter in the league, but not like a franchise like star. I think he's just an average, solid, like better than what he was with the Jets, clearly. But he can get the ball downfield. He can get he'll pass more there. So it'll be good.
I mean, I'm happy for him. I didn't want to own him, didn't want to touch him this year. Darnold, I didn't realize that he was going to be Darnold's favorite player by a large margin. Like, there were a lot of receivers going into this draft that it was like, all right, they have new quarterbacks. Who's going to be the guy? You see Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's the guy, and Robert Woods is being left out in the cold. Well, the Panthers were one of those teams with 3 mouths to feed. And last season, that didn't work out for any of them. I mean, DJ Moore was okay. Robbie Anderson was okay. And then this year, you see Robbie Anderson just being left out in the cold. So I didn't really predict that. But you never know. Honestly, he could just be like, you know what, I'm going to decide. CMC's coming back, so might take up some market share, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's.
For now, you look like a genius. For now, you look like
a reason I'm sitting at number 12 on your panic. So.
Oh yeah. Number 2, Clint.
I did not expect Clint to be this, like, to be 0 in the win column at this point. I will say.
I did, and I'll tell you why. First of all, his panic ranking is 2nd. We're basically charging into this paintball game, guns blazing, but sniped right as I step forward. I'm out. Damn, maybe next game. Analysis: most points against in the league by a lot. Brutal opening season schedule against many of the top scorers in the league. Kyler Murray is a top candidate for the MVP right now. So how has this roster not had a win yet? Who would have known the Colts line actually sucked? But at least Jonathan Taylor is starting to figure it out. That tie with Nolan was so close. And then losing to Ben by 4.5 points was brutal. Lost to Dylan in the unlucky bowl. Schedule should be easier moving forward. Bottom 4 in points scored. So there's optimism because it's not the last. But this team needs a win. Bad. And this week is Aaron, who had 149 last week. Welp.
Yeah, the strength of schedule really screwed Clint over. But I think the other thing is I thought, after week 1 tying with me, and I was like, oh man, Kyler Murray's going to have a year. And I just thought Jonathan Taylor would eventually bounce back to top 5 RB numbers, but he's getting better, but we'll see. And I thought he would be Ben. I definitely thought he'd be you. No offense, but at the same time, as much offense as I can.
That's all right.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really hating on my roster, and there's a lot to hate about my roster.
Because you traded away the people I thought were like the best players on your roster. So,
Like who? Jacobs?
I am telling you, Jacobs will be fine. And so far I'm 2 for 2 on my trades coming out at the end. So we'll see how I am for 3.
I don't know if you can say that you won our trade yet. It's way too early.
Your guy got hurt immediately, and
your guy was hurt.
already back. So
okay.
Right,
so they've probably both been out about the same amount of time now. We'll see who scores more fantasy points.
You want to bet a draft pick on it?
No, I'm not gonna bet a draft pick on it, but I don't know. We'll see what Peyton Barber does in that offense. Now Gruden was talking up Barber.
Well, Barber,
even when Jacobs
there's a report that Barber, because he missed practice earlier this week, and they're saying he has toe injury, and he might miss this week. So Jacobs is going to get a lot of touches.
Jacobs is still dealing with turf toe. That doesn't heal fast.
He's already moved to 100%.
By who?
About an hour ago that he's fully available this week. No hindrance. So,
Okay, but every receiver who has ever had like a high ankle sprain was always like, "Oh yeah, I'm 100% ready to go," and then they played through it and they were like terrible, like Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams. So
Devontae
Adams had a high ankle sprain for an entire season, and he was like, "Oh, I'm good," and he was sorry, no, he had turf toe. He had turf toe. Michael Thomas had a high ankle sprain, and he was like, "Oh, I'm ready to go."
Michael Thomas also needed a quarterback to throw the ball downfield. Anyway, who's number 1 in this?
Devontae Adams has turf toe for an entire season and was in 1 week, out the next. So I expect Jacobs with turf toe will be in 1 week and out the next. That's why I traded him.
We'll see who wins that. I'll take your draft picks when I'm right.
All right. Number 1, Andre.
Oh,
1, 2,
Andre.
and 1. Panic ranking. First, or basically been stuck in traffic for 3 hours on a bridge. Did someone die? This is ridiculous. Okay, maybe shouldn't have said that. Analysis. CMC out, potentially back this week, but game time decision. Lowest point total outside of James by 20-ish points. The next closest are Clinton Steven by 30 points. But I have a win, so ha! Has anyone seen Allen Robinson this season? Will Trey Sermon ever step up? Kittle injuries have been fun to navigate. At least Odell Beckham is back, but is he really? At one point this season, the formidable Washington defense put up a monster -8 points. This has been a great time.
Yeah, I definitely am shocked on how Andre's team has performed. So I could see that as a high panic ranking, because coming out of the draft, I thought, like we see a lot of those people preseason, I think majority of us were pretty high on overall. He got Kittle, he had Washington defense, Trey Sermon. I know a lot of us were thinking would be like a solid by mid-season.
Allen Robinson,
yeah, we all thought he would be the main target over there, but it just hasn't come out. Everyone hasn't performed as well. Odell is probably one of his best performers now. So it's been interesting. All right.
Yep. I would say it's probably been rough. We haven't really heard from a whole lot in the group meet. So maybe he's like not feeling like talking shit.
Yeah, he's feeling down this year. Maybe he wants to get a draft pick. I don't know. We'll see. But all right.
How would you order all 12 of your panic rankings?
Oh, that's gonna have to be something I have to sit there and actually be the numbers. I'm really bad at stuff in my head.
Oh, no, it's just off the top of your head because you were so in disagreement.
I already told you. I said if they think they're higher or lower, that's my job. And my job is to critique you, not to praise you. That's
okay. So just to recap, who is higher and who is lower? Nolan?
I mean, perfect right there.
Number 11, James.
I think
Obviously,
I
you're
agreed
probably
with that. I
lower.
agree with your first two.
Oh, you actually agree with James? Okay. I thought that was the
Yeah,
most controversial.
I think he has no reason to panic because he was planning on taking this year from the day of the draft. He was like, you know what? He's like team tank mode. Let's go.
Yep. Number 10, Aaron.
I think he should be panicking a little more, but hey, I think he should be like 9 or 8.
All right. So then he's lower. You've got
Yep.
Jake.
I think he should be less panicked, so higher. So like he should probably take that switch with Aaron there.
And then you've got Colton.
I also think he would be 9. So basically, I have Aaron at 8, Colton at 9, and Jake at 10.
Okay. Okay. Number 7 is Ben.
I think Ben should be a little more panicked, but so I think he should be lower.
And then Hayden.
I think he should be higher, so we can move him to 7.
Okay. Okay. And then John.
John, this one's the interesting one. I think he should be. I think he should be lower. I think he should be like 3.
3.
Yeah.
Why? More worried than me?
I think he should be. You got your 2 wins. And I mean, like you said, Higgins is coming back.
All right. All right. So John is lower. And then you've got me.
Yeah, you can take that 5 spot.
Okay. Sweet.
I mean, it's not like great. You're still in the more panicked side of the whole thing if you look at the middle, but I just think you have 2 wins, and you have like Najee's picked up for you, and you have Higgins coming back. You're not awful. Like last year was awful. This year is like I could watch it without throwing up. So
hey, honestly, everybody on my team except my defense last week hit. So that was crazy.
See, that's my point. All right, let's go to Steven. I think Steven's pretty accurate. If anything, he could be at 2 and switch him at 2, but I think that's pretty accurate right there.
All right. All right. And then Clint.
Yeah. You know what? I would agree. Switch him with 2. So Clint should be 3. Steven should be at 2. He's a little more panicked.
Clint's got a decent team, and he's just had a horrible schedule.
Yeah, he's had a horrible schedule. He'll bounce back. He's got a tie, and it's not the end of the world.
I mean, it's not going to start this week against Aaron.
It might. If his team hits on every single thing, and I mean, who knows? So
it's true.
All right, all right.
Number 1 is Andre. Would you change him?
We all agree on that.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks for listening to my panic rankings.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and stop your sharing, sir.
All right.
All right. This has been another great and awesome episode of Go Bold or Go Home. We saw Dylan's bold predictions, probably wrong, but bold. And that's what we care about here, is not being right. It's more about how risky you want to be. But being right is also good in the end as well. Till next time, we'll see you then.